Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, it's been forever. Did I start too soon? Maybe. Hi, everyone. It's been forever. I'm back. I meant to change the title of this live. Whoops. I'm going to make myself a note to do that. Because tonight is all about me being back. Not that it's all about me, because we're also going to talk about the full moon that we've got coming up. It's been a while. I am really excited to announce that I will be back with my normal YouTube videos starting next Saturday. Not this upcoming Saturday, but the following Saturday. So I finished filming half of my course. Half. I did technically also go on vacation, which I'm wearing my Madame Leota shirt. I thought you'd be able to see more of it. If you don't know Disney, there's a ride called the Haunted Mansion. And it's a haunted mansion, and there is a crystal ball in one of the rooms, and Madame Leota, the psychic, is channeling the spirits from beyond. And I just realized how much hair is on the shirt. However, so Madame Leota is like, love her. My sister got me this shirt. So yeah, technically I went on vacation, and then I followed it up with finishing writing my scripts for my course, and then I filmed about half of it. I'm going to film the other half of it, but I won't end up like taking a pause from YouTube again because I basically got it all ready to go. And the way that I'm going to upload videos, it'll be pretty easy for me to film in between uploading. So if you are new here, please subscribe. You are going to see my live night schedule on my website. A lot of you are going to see changes there. I am kind of making some changes to my channel, mostly doing some less lives. And I'm not uploading as often to YouTube. If you're curious for all the reasoning why this is happening, I am going to upload a podcast about it. Just kind of making some changes to make the content better and take care of myself, kind of simplify my schedule. I was totally overworked and burnt out, and I didn't realize it until I took like a vacation. That's usually how it goes, right? If you want to know more about all the minutia updates coming your way, check out the podcast. If you aren't sure where to find that, every link tree that I have, it's usually like in my email signature, it's in the YouTube description, it's like in my Instagram bio. Like I always have a link tree, and on there you're going to find the podcast. So hello everyone. Hi Jana. Hi Karen. I'm hoping we are going to stay connected tonight. Hey Samantha, I used to work there at Disneyland. I know, Karen, you've said that before. We had so much fun. I shared a few like short little videos to my TikTok. If you're really curious, I feel like it was already forever ago. I already miss it. Hey Lori. It's been a million years, guys. I know. Thank you so much for your patience. I don't plan on taking breaks like that are so big, but I just have to film my course, and since I'm the only one that films and edits myself, I just didn't want to do too much at once. So thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for being patient. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, Patreon. I did not stop content for Patreon. So if you're missing me, if you want more of me, I have more content over there. Basically, we do psychic game nights. That's actually going to be a week from tonight. We play psychic game nights. Just today, I uploaded a group reading for everyone over there. So that's like once a month, everyone on that like tier gets a group reading. We also do a member-only live night. And then what else do we do? Oh, and we do Q&As. So psychic development Q&As. Send in your questions, which members, you're going to get that prompt tomorrow. So start thinking about those questions. And then I upload a video answering everyone's questions. So I think that's all the Patreon perks. I feel like I'm missing one, but Patreon is still there. If you're wanting more content, you can find me there. We have a lot more live nights over there, and that's kind of one of the things I'm transitioning into, is doing more lives there than here. And that's more just to keep myself financially going and thank you to all of you who are on Patreon supporting me in that way. It is so helpful. It helps me to create the content on here that I do for free. You did like a long time ago, and then I feel like you sent me a message too. Hello, Adrian. Hello, Ashley. Look at all these members and your cute emojis. Hey, Jordan. Oh man, film major. All right, look at all these emojis. Anyways, we're going to get into it. Is there any other? I do have some announcements to make. Sorry. Deal with that for a second, and then we're going to jump into the group reading, and then we will do individual readings. I am going to start my timer for my members. So when this timer goes off, whoever is a member that comments closest to it will get a quick reading from me. Okay, I said the thing about the podcast. Podcast is going to have more details about all these changes. And I know I really wanted to wait for this, but I'm too excited. I found out that if you listen to my podcast on Anchor, which is the platform that I make it on, you can actually respond to podcasts via voice message. So if you listen to my podcast on Anchor, and you want to send me a message and record an audio message, I think it's only a minute, you can do that and I can hear you. So if you're already listening to my podcast, maybe try it out on Anchor so that you can send me an audio message. It's been a while since I've been live. Alrighty, last announcement. I am going to have, it's October 1, yay. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do my October spooky videos like I did last year. Geez, there are going to be 2 videos out during the month of October, and they will be a sort of spooky themed a little bit. But I should have either waited to do my filming later or filmed it earlier. And I realized after the fact, I was like, oh shoot, now I can't do all my October spooky videos. Anyways, however, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a virtual spirit circle. So this is like a seance. I do this in person. I've already got one scheduled. You guys, I've already got 6 parties scheduled for this month. This is my busiest month. I probably got 5 more requests today. October is my crazy busy month, but I realized that the people that don't get to see me during this time are all of you. And you guys don't get to see me in person. And so I am going to offer a virtual spirit circle. I've done them before. I've done them in person. We're going to make a thing of it. We're going to turn out the lights. We're all going to bring candles. We're going to set intentions. We're going to connect to spirit. It is going to be limited to a certain number of people just because I can't read everybody in the world. I want to I want to give everyone a message. It is going to be a Zoom meeting where we you don't have to turn on your video, but at least maybe your audio to give feedback. I guess you don't even have to do that if you just would rather use the chat box. But we're going to do a virtual spirit circle later in October. That is a paid event. And if you want to do it, you can sign up. I am going to put the sign up first to Patreon. Patreon members are going to get first grabs at that. So if you're really wanting to do that, feel free to jump on over to Patreon. If you don't want to wait for Patreon, or if you don't want to get on Patreon, I guess you can wait. And I will open it up to the public after them. So just keep your eyes peeled. I'll probably post it on all of my socials. It'll be a class sign up that you sign up for on my website. So, thank you. I love my shirt too. I hope my sound isn't bad. I had to reload YouTube and it's better now. Same here. It's been happening with the last YouTube visit watched also. Working now. Okay, it's better. No, it's okay now. Huh. That's weird. I'm not sure. Maybe it's me. We'll see. Awesome. So that spirit circle is coming. Basically, I was talking about a spirit circle, virtual spirit circle. Actually, I did lose a ton of you all at once. So I wonder if there's a disconnection that was happening. Mercury retrograde is supposed to be over. Let's not have this universe. So I'll give it brief in case I cut it out. We're going to be doing a virtual spirit circle. It's a paid event. It's going to be later in October. It is going to be like a Google Meets, like a Zoom call basically. So we're all going to bring candles. We're all going to turn off our lights. We're going to create a virtual circle, even though we are all distant from each other, but we're going to connect with spirits or loved ones in spirit and kind of have like a seance, but virtually. So again, that's opening up to Patreon members first. They're going to get first grabs at that, and then public is open to it. I just need to like make it online, and as soon as I do that, it will be up. I've just been trying to catch up on like Patreon stuff. Hopefully, I think I should get it up in the next like day or two, honestly. It's us. We have too much sauce. It's retrograde hangover. Yes. Sort of splurged since I haven't been here in a while. Awesome. Okay. So that is all my announcements. I wanted to talk about the full moon that we've got coming up on Sunday, just really quickly. I haven't looked into it too much. Honestly, I've just looked into it through my Moonology diary. Basically, we have a new moon in Aries, and this time is all about letting go. So even if you didn't intentionally do it, we set intentions at the last new moon, and we told the universe what we wanted, what we, hope for, what we want to bring into our lives. And usually by the full moon, this is when we want to release. We want to find the things that aren't working and let go of it. So our dreams might not have come to fruition yet. That's okay. So now it's about identifying what's in our way from manifesting that intention. And it could even be the intention itself. So what I've done is I've made 3 piles. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. You can connect to which one you think is for you. And I'm basically asking, what is it that you need to release for this full moon? And it is a full moon in Aries, so the energy is definitely like go, 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 like get after it. The energy is very productive, I would say. Let me see if there's anything I'm missing. I don't think so. I was going to just mention really quick for those of you who are wanting to learn a little bit about astrology, not that I think you should be learning from me, but I'm learning right now. If you are, I'm going to give rising signs. So this is going to be the house that this full moon is affecting. So Aries, your first house is being affected. Aries rising, your first house is being affected by this full moon. Taurus, it's going to be your 12th house. Gemini risings, 11th house. Cancer, 10th. Leo, 9th. Virgo, 8th. Libra, 7th. Scorpio, 6th. Sagittarius, 5th, Capricorn 4th, Aquarius 3rd, and Pisces 2nd. So for example, I'm a Virgo rising, so it's going to be in my 8th house, which the 8th house is all about joint finances, credit cards, debts, sex, anything you consider taboo, inheritance, transformation. And I am already seeing that. I just now realized that. So if I want to release anything in regards to debt, credit cards, which I'm totally down for, like, heck yeah, let's do it. Right now, it's just a particularly good area for me to work on because it's in my 8th house. You don't have to release something that's specifically in that house, but if you want to or you have something, it's like an extra to do it. So overall, maybe just set some intentions of things you want to release. You could write it on a piece of paper, go burn it outside. You could do something way more complicated than that. I would just say with the Aries energy coming through, it might be intense if you don't do something. It might really slap you in the face of like what you need to release, or you can really turn it into something productive of like, I'm going to release this and I'm going to go gung-ho and manifest my dreams until, moving into that next new moon. So that's a little bit about the theme of tonight. Just kind of want to give you some advice for this upcoming full moon. Again, that's on Sunday. Thanks, Sarah. I got affected during retrograde. I'm a Gemini. Oh gosh, you guys, that's the podcast that I'm going to be uploaded, that I'm going to upload so many of those retrograde planets, like I'm blaming them. Gemini sun, Cancer rising, Capricorn moon. So you're Capricorn, or wait, sorry, what did you say? Cancer rising. So Lucy, you're specifically gonna look at, where was I? Where's Cancer? 10th house. So 10th house. The 6th house and the 2nd. 6th house is daily routines, including your work, health, and duty. 6th house is the house of Virgo. So it's like cleaning up, reorganizing, being very analytical. You said 2nd house, right? 2nd house. Cash, property, and possessions, values, including how you value yourself, is the 2nd house. Nice, Lucy. That's like at the minimum what I do. Like at the minimum, I might set an intention, write it down, release it. And like that's what I'll do. Maximum, I will like get a fancy candle, pull some tarot cards, meditate, do like a sound bath. I highly recommend Dynasty Electric, their YouTube channel. I kind of like dig their stuff. Virgo rising, yay, fellow Virgo rising. And you're a Pisces sun, Samantha. You're almost the same as me. I'm just a Scorpio moon. Full moon on your birthday. Happy birthday, Linda. 6th house is definitely happening. Nice. All right, I'm going to jump into the group reading again just to give you guys some more clarity. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. If you need to take a second to pause and figure out which one is for you. Oh, I totally forgot to start that timer. Oh, no, I just paused it. Oops. Restarting. Pile number 1. What do you need to release? Ooh, okay. Can I do it again, burn again on the full moon? Yes, absolutely. And I will say, after this year is over, I am going to do a video on, like, it's already in my, like, plans of, I'm going to do a video on, like, working with lunar cycles based on my experience with this book. And I'm just going to give you a ton of advice. But yes, you can absolutely do it. You can do it for every single one if you want to. All right, so pile number 1, I got sisterhood. What you need to release. I'm actually just feeling like this is relationships. Maybe you have relationships that are not serving you anymore. So this could be friendship. It doesn't have to be like female friendships. Maybe it's just friendships. It could be like people in the workplace. It could be a romantic interest. There's definitely some relationships that are no longer serving you, pile number 1. And I'm asking next how this is showing up. Like, how has this been showing up? How has this been showing up so that you know to release it? And I got the 5 of Pentacles. This is like conflict practically. And I'm reading so many people. Like, one, I'm getting like, maybe you guys have a really hard time just like syncing up and getting together. And it's so frustrating because you're trying to make plans and maybe they always fall through. 5 of Pentacles could even be that they're like a drain on you. And that could be like financially, like maybe they're a friend that like always invites you out to like do things that you can't afford, or maybe they like expect you to pay for things, or maybe they take your things a lot. I used to have a friend that would always borrow things and never return it. And it kind of like actually caused a little bit of like a grumpiness there. Definitely some conflict around like physical matters, whether that be like your home, your money, your finances, just very like earthly matters, your possessions, your things. And then I asked for the last card for this group reading is in pile number 1, what you can do about this. And really all you guys need to do, pile number 1, is set new intentions. I love this card. This is my favorite card of this deck. It says compass, and this is all about where are you pointing north? You know, are you saying I'm okay with the relationships that step on me, that have poor boundaries, that are really not what I enjoy being around or doing? And that doesn't mean you necessarily need to release the friendship as a whole. Maybe all you need to do is like just start putting your foot down a little bit more. And then maybe, you know, that friendship might fall through because of that. But at the bare minimum, pile number 1, more boundaries need to be set in relationships. And you need to let go of the relationships that are not working, or just let go of the boundaries that you're not setting. I should say the people-pleasing tendencies, like where you are letting people take advantage of you, that's what needs to be released. And I have such a good example of this. Like, this is why one of my last really good friendships fell apart, was literally all I did was I set the intention that I'm going to start speaking up a little bit more and like putting my foot down. And trust me, like, I'm not like a mean person. I definitely know how to do it and do it nicely. But it was like all of a sudden that person wasn't happy that I was standing up for myself and not just like rolling over. They wanted the old version of me, right? And they weren't happy with this new version. And so it was almost like night and day. We stopped being friends, you know? So it can definitely happen that way, but it doesn't, again, mean that they won't shift or try to be better around you, or that friendship can actually be improved. Cleaned out my large closet and considering renovating your bathroom. Nice. I love that energy. I'm a Virgo. Like, I'm constantly reorganizing and cleaning. I've also done that since I've gotten back home. Like, that's something I'm going to talk about in my podcast. Just like the energy of going on vacation. I come home and I have such a reset happens that I just need to redo everything. It's a cyclone, tornado, and hurricane in there. Oh, in your room. I thought you were saying you were in a hurricane. I was like, oh no. Who doesn't return your borrowed books back to you? Yes, she would like steal things. Not steal. Well, actually, I did think she would steal things because all of my Disney DVDs started disappearing. And she also liked Disney. And like, I knew I had a copy of Cinderella. And I knew I had a copy of Mary Poppins. Gone. But then, like, it was that she, like, borrowed a hat, and then I asked her for it back, and she clearly, like, lost it and went out and bought me, like, another hat that totally was not my hat and returned it to me. And I was just like, just tell me. Like, don't lie, you know? Okay. Thieves. Lord, she was the Seven of Swords. All right. Okay. So that was pile number 1 for our group reading of what you need to release. Got too many things on my table. I guess I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm done with that. Okay. And then pile number 2, what you need to release. Ooh. How? Okay. So I pulled guide. Why would you need to release a guide? Oh, I just heard false guide. Maybe you're following the wrong people, the wrong programs. Pile number 2. I kind of feel like you're looking to someone as an ally, as your mentor, as your guide, but maybe they're not in the best place. Maybe you just have outgrown them as well. Maybe this person is no longer serving what you need anymore, but there's something about like someone in your life who you look up to that you use as a guide. And I'm kind of hearing this can even be in a generic sense, like a news station. Like, I know that's kind of like an odd version of a guide, but we look up to those people to give us information in some sort of way. Or maybe it's like a celebrity. Like, I'm kind of getting the vibes of like a celebrity or somebody in your life that you subscribe to because you think that they are giving you something in some sort of way. That's good. But I feel like they either are no longer the guide for you, or they are no longer... I feel like they're no longer in alignment with themselves. Why do I feel like this is about me? Maybe this is, I don't know. If you feel that way about me, like, go for it. That's totally fine. But somebody who you view as this is no longer that way for you anymore. It's not that they're bad or evil or anything. It's just something that's going on with them, or it's that you have moved past needing their help. And I feel like for some reason it's keeping you stuck a little bit because you need to trust yourself, or maybe trust some people with more knowledge. You need to like venture outside of just their opinions, if that makes sense. And then I asked again, how is this showing up for you in the last couple of weeks? Like, since you set your intention, you know, and I also want to say, sorry, For some of you, it's like a parent. It's like you're looking up to a parent to give you the advice on what you should do next in life. And they don't have your highest and best good. That's not their intention. They care more about themselves, their agendas. So maybe you're thinking someone is a guide or a mentor, and really they're not. And how this is showing up, 6 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, and this is why I don't think it's a bad thing, because this is all about expansion. Like, you've really moved forward in a lot of ways physically in your life. Like, you might have started a new job, you might have really shifted like what your daily, like, day-to-day stuff looks like. Maybe you have moved, maybe you have made a different amount of money, like something, you have changed, your life is different, and the person that they were to you then is not helping you now because you're in a much different spot. You have expanded beyond what they can provide. This is all about you moving forward, up leveling, moving to that next chapter. And they were definitely a guide that helped you in the past, but not so much now. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Lori. Oh, wow. Member for 17 months, Lori? Wow. That's awesome. I wonder if it does that all the time, if it shows that. That's a lot of time. Thanks, Lori. That's so awesome. And Lori is also a Patreon member, so like Lori doesn't even have to do that. Thank you, Lori. I chose pile number 2, but I don't know who. And it could just be, it might not even be a person. So maybe just pay attention to it. Something that you're, like, I'm hearing that it could even be something you're relying on that you don't. Like, I literally just heard coffee. Like, if you are thinking that coffee is going to help you, it's going to guide you, it's going to keep you going, like, it could be something like that, of like, you think that it's going to help you move throughout your day. Maybe it's like a more of a toxic behavior, maybe not toxic as much as just like something you are relying on. It could be a person, it could be a thing, that is no longer serving you. Again, because you've expanded. And how you can move into releasing this is education. This works so well with guide. This is all about just like finding new people, finding new resources, finding new things or people to follow. Again, because you have expanded, you're now moving into a new level, and you can kind of hit a new ceiling. There's more that you can learn, there's more that you can do. And this old thing that you're relying on is just no longer, that you've gotten everything out of it that you could. I just heard them say, like, you squeezed all of the juice out of the orange that you can get. Now it's time to go learn about other fruits, if that makes sense. I feel like pile number 2 is straightforward. It's moving into learning for yourself, educating yourself, understanding that you have expanded, and therefore it's your turn to be your own teacher. That's it. You were looking for somebody else to make the decisions, to guide you. Maybe this is just at its like simplest, like, too much reliance on others, that codependency, the needing other people's permission. And now you are going to make your own decisions. You are going to, move into figuring out how you are going to decide day to day what you're going to do, and not relying on other people to make those decisions for you or tell you which direction you can take. It's this self-empowered, I've got it now. I can do what I need to do next to be my own guide, to be my own mentor, to be my own supporter. Or it could be that, it is time to find a new mentor in some sort of way. All right, that's pile number 2. Sorry, I'm taking forever with this. Pile number 3 is our last pile of what you need to release for this next full moon. And then we'll jump into individual readings. Pile number 3. You need to release blocks to your intuition. That's what this is about. This card, because this is my mermaid deck, it says conchomancy. It's like reading divination through seashells. So really, when I pull this card, I feel like at its essential core, it's like about intuition, divination. And this is something that I think you're supposed to have in order to manifest the things that you've been wanting to manifest. You need more of the intuition to be able to talk to your spiritual team so that they can help you more. And right now, that's not the strongest. Maybe you have some blocks to your psychic abilities. Maybe you're just not feeling like totally connected. I just feel like it's psychic blocks. Like that's what I feel like this card is. And your guides want you to release the psychic blocks so that you can hear them more often and they can help you. And how this has been showing up is there's been a lot of self-sabotage in your life lately. The Lovers card. So a lot of people read this as relationships. I read it as the relationship with yourself. And I pulled it in reverse. So this to me says like you are working against yourself. You are going against the flow. There's a lot easier way of doing things. There's a more, I'm hearing flow, like you can get into flow better. A lot of this can be a lot easier, but you're making it hard on yourself because you're not working with yourself, working with your strengths, simplifying, like you're just overcomplicating things. And so that's why your guys want you to come in, release these psychic blocks so they can come in and give you like a pep talk or like, hey, this is what's going on. Listen to us. We know what's happening in your life. How you can release this, how you can release these psychic blocks. I pulled the card movement. So this to me is just like take action, especially with this Aries full moon. Like just go for it. Take action on releasing some psychic blocks. You don't need to take a whole course just to start doing that. You could watch a video on it. You can do one exercise without even watching a video. You can just listen to a meditation. You could journal. There's all sorts of things you can do, but try to focus on like, even if I'm trying to go so fast. I think I'm still in like filming mode for my course. I need to slow down. Even if you're not, what was I saying? Crap. Oh, even if you're not trying to like develop your psychic abilities, it could just be what's in my way right now of connecting with myself, of doing the shadow work, of understanding my emotions, of understanding my triggers, the things that are going on in my life that I'm fighting against. Like where is the resistance in your life? And instead of running away from it, how can you open up to it and see what it's trying to tell you? That's where I want to leave that reading. I feel like that was a good ending sentence. Movement. Just take action on it. And I think you're going to get a lot more clearer guidance from your guides. And that's what's needed to move forward into the next new moon and manifesting what you want to manifest. Awesome. I picked 3. All right. Thank you, Jordan. I'm just going to read these really quick. I was your first YouTube member. Yes, I'm pretty sure I remember that. Thank you, Lori. Oh, thank you, All Out with Mom Life. My right ear started to buzz a little. Ooh, so next time ask, what does that mean? Is this confirmation? Is this a no? Does this mean it resonates? Does this mean you have something to say? You're welcome, Ashley. It happened when I thought, oh, you already answered my own question. It happened when I thought about who is my guide. Ooh, become your own teacher resonates. Nice. Reading via seashells sounds pretty metal. I would not doubt that you can do it. It's very similar to scrying. I've taught about scrying with rocks, so it does not seem like a big jump to be able to use seashells. I was just thinking of my blog 15 minutes before you're live. It's actually why I started following you. All right, Samantha, you know what to do, right? Absolutely, Samantha. Okay, number 3. Just do it. You're welcome. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to jump up to Jordan. So what we're going to do is individual readings. If I catch up on donations, I will do free guessing game readings. Otherwise, if you want to get a reading right away, send a donation through Super Chat or Venmo. And if you donate through Venmo, just let me know in case I don't see it on my phone. And then we will just keep doing that for a while. I probably should have set like an out time tonight, but I didn't. We'll just go until I'm feeling tired or my voice goes bad. All right, let's do it. All right, Jordan, been working with, and I totally memorized how to say her name. I finally learned how to say it correctly, and I don't remember. I saw a TikToker clearly explain it based on the like region and the Greek, what's the word? How you say it in Greek. I don't know. Okay, but anyway. She's mad at me that I didn't grab my Halloween Oracle deck because I was thinking about it. She likes that deck a little bit better. I've never worked with Hecate, but Hecate, I think it's Hecate. I'm gonna have to look up that TikTok. I saved it. I haven't worked with her, but I've had so many people want to talk to her through me, so I'm familiar with her energy. Also did a ritual with her and various other angels a few nights ago and wanted to hear the results from her perspective. I just heard it's like still processing, it's still pending. Like she literally just showed me like the little wheel of like loading. But let me start with your first question. Any messages from Hecate? And I do tend to do tarot more on these live nights just to keep things moving along quicker. Ooh, this is like very like linear, Jordan. So first I have deep freeze, then balancing act, then making a choice. The deep freeze, I feel like I did not intend to pull past, present, future, but that's like totally what happened here. Excuse me. Deep freeze, I feel like this is in the past. You were just feeling stuck. You were feeling like the energy wasn't moving. And then either you're not there yet or you've just been practicing this, the balancing act. You've been putting, what is going on? There's like a bunch of cars racing outside. Balancing act, this is all about you. You've balanced things out a little bit more. Maybe you've given more time to yourself. Maybe you've given more time to like relationships in your life. You kind of righted the wrongs in your life is what I'm hearing. Not that you were doing anything wrong, but it's almost this energy of whatever you were missing that you needed, you made sure to go follow through and give that to yourself. And now you're at a point where I'm hearing you're back to square one, not in like a moving backwards sort of way, but like you're able to come back to the things that you want and give it a second chance because you've balanced things out a little bit more, but maybe you're hesitating, maybe you're not moving forward on that quite yet. And I think it's because you need to just do it. You need to make a choice. That's what this card is about, and it's in the future position. So that to me is saying like your guides are just encouraging you to move forward and decide what you want to do now because you've balanced everything out and there's like this hesitancy of, well, shoot, I don't want to make the wrong choice again, but they're kind of saying, no, you're in a much better place to handle it now. What is this about, Hecate? Hecate or something like that. Works that are created over great periods of time. It's like, I got Coral's Wisdom. This is like one of my favorite cards in the deck. Works that are created over great periods of time. I think this is you. I think this is your journey, your spiritual journey, which is going to be created over a long period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. So I think probably before what was going on is you were just feeling very stagnant spiritually, and you kind of took the time to, again, balance those needs. I feel like it's just that you took a little bit more care of your like earthly needs, like finances or relationships, the things that you had been neglecting before. And now you're a little bit afraid that it's just, you're going to go back. You're going to go back to the old, but this is saying, no, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge. And now it's more about not hesitating because you're okay. You won't forget or go backwards in the same way anymore. Okay. And then excuse me. Also did a ritual with her and various other angels a few nights ago, and I wanted to hear the results from her perspective. Yeah, again, it's pending. Why is it pending? It's still in the process. Like, it's on you for some reason. I don't know if there's, like, whatever ritual you did, like, part of it was that you were going to go out and, you know, tell the universe, hey, I'm serious about this. I'm going to go, like, if you're trying to manifest a new car, I'm going to go walk around the car lot and pick out the car that I want, you know, even if you don't have the money for it right away. It's a step towards your intentions. It's a step towards your dreams. I feel like that's missing. Some sort of follow through on your end. She's saying, show me the results. She's saying, like, it's not going to magically fall in your lap. You have to also start embodying it. Whatever it is that you were trying to manifest, like, you're not going to wake up and just feel it. You need to start doing little things, little actions towards that goal, and then it's going to start to manifest a little bit more. Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense. What is she saying? Oh, it's gone now. If it's important, it'll come back. I'm just seeing if Jordan sent any more messages. I wanted to hear the results from her perspective. Yeah, there's something about, like, you. She's like, it's almost like she's crossing her arms and she's like, show me that you want this. Show me that you're serious about this. Like, that you're not just going to get it handed to you. Not that, like, you're arrogant or have that attitude about it. I just feel like you were kind of like, I'm going to do this thing. And now I'm waiting and watching the pot boil. And she's like, are you going to take, like, the pot off the burner? That was a bad example, but it's like, where's that first step that you committed to? Okay. Anything else, Hecate, that Jordan needs to know about this ritual? Am I reading reversals? Okay, yes. I know this deck well enough. I will say, though, that I do think it's going to manifest. I think they're just trying to kick you in the butt of, like, doing your end of the follow through, because I got magical map shifter. This is like the magician card, I would say, out of the traditional tarot. This is whatever thoughts, whatever things you're wanting to create, to manifest into your life. You have the thought, you have the idea, and you bring it into physical reality. And you are a magical magician, human being, spiritual being that can do this. The fact that I pulled it reverse, to me, says, Jordan, there's some doubt that you have about your ability to manifest. And then I got Gentle Gardener, and I think, going back to that Coral's wisdom card, like, this is something that you might have to. Great works are created over time, like Gentle Gardener. You have to wait for the seeds to root, to sprout, to grow, to, you know, it's a longer process. It's not going to happen right away. And there's something about trusting and believing that it'll work before you can see those results happen. And then I pulled the wide open card. So this, to me, is just being wide open and surrendering to the outcome, surrendering to the how, and just, again, trusting that it'll happen, doing your work to follow through, and understand that you are planting the seeds and it might take a while, and that's totally okay. The bigger issue she's pointing out is, like, if you don't do these things, if you don't believe that you can manifest it, if you don't stay wide open to messages, to your intuition, and you just give up on, watering those dreams, watering that garden because you are so frustrated that it's not happening. I'm just seeing if there's anything else she might have to say about that. She's just giving me the impression that this is just like anything else that you can have. Really, the only obstacle is like your confidence in it. Because your confidence both affects the energy of it and it affects your actions, like whether or not you take action towards it, if that makes sense. But she's like, it can work if you want it to work. She's very sassy. Anything else? She told me for Samhain, and this is a little bit for everyone, but also you, Jordan. She said if anyone wants to work with her, she's like, give me a little something. She's like, put something on your altar, put something on your ofrenda, whatever you do for Samhain. If you just light a candle, put a picture of her up. Like if you want to work with her, she's like, there's something about her that's like, I require a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Commitment is what she said. She wants to know that she's not like every other guide. She's so funny. She's like, because I'm not. So if that's anybody they've been thinking about working with her, give her a little something at Samhain to show her that you're committed to working with her year round. Awesome. Any last messages for Jordan in regards to that? I'm just spending a little bit more time because Jordan donated a bit more. Earthly spirituality community. This to me, Jordan, is saying like anything you can do to get grounded with the earth, with that kind of energy. This says Lemuria returns. Maybe if you're attracted to Lemuria, you can look that up. When I think of like earthly spirituality community, this to me is just getting in touch with nature, getting in touch with like your physical surroundings, because a lot of times when we do intuitive work, psychic work, we're very much like in our heads, we're meditative, but sometimes we can connect in that same way through the earth, through going on walks, connecting to clouds, feeling the sun, going on a walk in your like neighborhood. There's something about like doing a little bit more of that maybe you just need right now. Awesome. Thank you, Jordan. Alrighty. Let's jump back down to the comments. If it wants to load. Do I have to click now? There we go. Awesome, Silly Rabbit, about your clairaudience. Great group reading tonight. I don't know if I'm reading that right. Speaking of Halloween, will there be another fun giveaway? Oh, I forgot that I did that. No, not this year, unfortunately, just because I've been so distracted with filming my new course. Yeah, no, sorry. There's going to be like 2 Halloween themed videos, and again, the spirit circle, because that's something that I can plan pretty easily and quickly. Unfortunately, this Halloween is just going to be like not as cool as last year, but don't worry, we'll be back for next year. And I think now I know not to ever film my course like right before Halloween. I was thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be done before October, and I am, but the amount of time it's going to take me to write and film some new October videos, like I don't have enough time. So it was a mistake. I'm sorry. Yay, mom life. I'm glad. And that, that's something I always forget to say, is that even if I'm reading other people, sometimes you can get messages that resonate with you. Spirit likes to get to as many of us as possible. So some messages will come through and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I feel like that's for me. Take it. Especially if you feel like it resonates. My confidence in my manifestation is pretty rooted. Nice. What you want, Miss H? She's looking for a tribute. I was at a fair and she brought me to a shop that sold an herbal spray that was dedicated to her. That's so funny. I'm glad that I'm picking up on her energy, right? Some guys are just like, I don't care, like, connect with me whenever, like, I just would love to hear from you. And then there's some guys that are just like, nope, put it in the work. You're welcome, Jordan. Hello, Lucinda. You didn't read it wrong. I wrote it wrong. No worries. Were you talking about the Patreon group reading? I put up the Patreon group reading for October. Very interesting energy for October. It came through very quickly for sure. It's like very straight to the point. Awesome. I don't think we have any other donations, so let's do a guessing game. So if you guess the thing that I'm thinking of, you'll get the next reading. I still have my member timer that's going to go off, but again, if you want to jump to the top of the list, feel free to donate via Venmo or I about said PayPal. No, Super Chat. I got to start connecting to other guides. I just know some of my own. Yeah, well, it's hard when you're like, you don't necessarily resonate with them and there's so many of them. But if you feel drawn to them, like, go for it. I need to listen to it. I will say, like, I know I'm talking a little bit about Patreon, sorry, but I tried a new camera for you guys. It's better than the last one, but sorry. Sometimes my Patreon is like my guinea pigs. I test a lot of things out over there before I bring it over here. But I got something from each pile tonight. Oh, yay, good. Oh, sorry. No, I haven't said what I was going to do yet. I am going to think of a vegetable. If you can guess of the vegetable that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. Sorry. Sounds redundant, but I believe you're still thinking of something along the signs or space. I might have been. I hadn't decided what I was doing yet. I'm thinking now of I love seeing the typos of a about said it, a vegetable. Nobody's gotten it yet. I hope. Onion! Noah, you got it. Let me just double check that no one else got it before Noah. Pretty sure I didn't see it. But Noah, feel free to throw up a question. And I will do a quick reading for you. And again, if we wrap up with Noah and there's no donations, we'll do another one. Onion is a vegetable. Did I do it again? There was one time that I totally said a tomato was a vegetable, and I forgot that it was a fruit, and I knew that. You guys got to educate me, call me out if I'm wrong. Right? An onion is a vegetable? Now I don't know. Now I'm questioning everything. Yes, Noah, that's exactly how it works sometimes. Thank you for sharing. That happens to me all the time. Like I'll hear my husband say something, or I will know he's gonna, like, I'm like, oh, I need to go talk to my husband about this, and then I'll hear his response in my head, and then I'll go talk to him, and then he says that exact response, and I'm like, I knew you were gonna say that. Here's my response back. Tomato is fruit. Yes, tomato is fruit, but onion's not a fruit, right? Are onions a fruit? It was a good 30 minutes ago. Oh, now it's Googling that shit. Oh, God damn it. Are onions fruits? Fruit. What constitutes a fruit? I think that's what I don't know. It's a vegetable. Okay, I'm good. How to humiliate a Virgo rising, like, question their knowledge. That's when I'll really, my ego will be hurt. Just kidding. The presence of seeds. Oh, it has to have seeds. Look at you guys. Thank you. Thank you for teaching me. Okay, I can remember that. It's a nightshade. Ooh. What's a nightshade, Sarah? All right, Noah, for those of you still guessing, Noah got it. So we'll do another guessing game after this. How can I prove my psychic abilities? You're welcome. This Virgo said so. Okay. Noah. Let's go with this deck. No, this is kind of strange, and I feel like I can make like a whole video or a podcast on this. But there's something about connecting to your inner child that I think is helpful for you, because I'm seeing like you watching like cartoons or something. And I think that sometimes we need to connect to our inner child, heal it, play with it, because, well, for several reasons. One is that like it helps us get into that right brain, it helps us get into the intuitive mind and get more playful. Like that energy is similar to the psychic ability, and so it only helps our psychic ability. Also, when we are kids, we are at our most intuitive, and so sometimes like reconnecting to old things that we might have done as a child, or just kind of the energy or the essence of it, sometimes helps clear blocks or lets you have realizations to connect to that childlike version of yourself. So that's like the first thing that I was definitely getting. And then this is funny. And then Noah, I also got spark, which is like almost along the same lines of what I'm talking about. Spark is like doing something creative, doing something passionate, doing something that lights you up, something that's like not work related. I mean, unless your work really lights you up. To me, this is being in the zone, right? It's like when you're so excited, you absolutely love something. Like I'm hearing that this can be video games for a lot of us. A lot of us are shamed into thinking that video games are a big waste of time, that they're awful. But sometimes, you know, like some people will read books just as long as they would play, as someone else over here would play a video game. Somebody else might do woodworking, for example, just as long as somebody else with a video game. I don't know why the video games are coming through so strongly, but whatever it is for you, Noah, there's something about being in that zone of like you don't care about anything else. You're not worrying about what you got to do. You're not worrying about work, money. It's connecting to play. Like that's with both of these things, connecting with your inner child and like connecting with doing something creative, something passionate. You're playing, and for whatever reason, I think maybe you're a little bit unfamiliar with that feeling, or maybe you just haven't connected to it in a while. And sometimes we need to get into that imagination, that play, that creativity to and sorry, I'm like having a separate conversation with my guides. I'm telling my guides that they need to give me a good example of this so I could like make a podcast about it, so I could give a better example. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Finding something again that is going to get you into that imagination, that play, because that's the same place that your psychic mind operates. And Noah, if you're new here, I would check out my older video on like, I think it's called engaging the psychic mind, left brain, right brain analogy, something like that. I love video games. Okay, maybe that's why. You know, I've actually been reconnecting to that myself, and that's something I'm going to talk about in that podcast that I mentioned I was going to upload. You know, it's getting into a state of play. It's forgetting about everything else. We need to operate in that mindset a little bit more, because that's the same place, again, that our psychic mind resides. I think I spent a while on that. Awesome. Thank you, Noah. I hope that resonates. Start with play, start with imagination. I know it seems like, okay, I'm doing something that's not related, but it's crazy how when you do those unrelated things, how much easier it is to access your psychic ability. It's not the same thing, but it's indirectly helping, if that makes sense. Is clairaudience considered a psychic ability? Your psychic ability is up here. it's how clairaudience is how you experience that psychic ability. Does that make sense? I made sure to really cover that in my masterclass. Oh, that's my member timer. Karen, look at that. Karen, throw up a question. It's your lucky day if you have any questions. If not, you can pass it to somebody else. But Karen got the member reading for tonight. Okay, so yeah, the psychic ability is the psychic ability. Clairaudience is how you experience that psychic ability. If you're still confused on that, go watch my video on like the who, what, when, and how of the psychic ability. It's in my Start Here playlist. And yeah, Silly Rabbit, you can say I'm psychic. I have the psychic ability. I'm intuitive. I have really good intuition. All of those words I think are kind of interchangeable. What was that emoji, Jana? You're a farmer. I've never even seen that emoji. Clairaudience is a tool. I wouldn't describe it as a tool personally. Like when I think of tools, I think of like tarot. I would consider a tool being separate from you, something that you couldn't use on your own. Like you need to obtain that tool to be able to use it. Clairaudience is innate. Like everyone has it. That's just my opinion though. But it isn't a nightshade, but it's a pretty long definition, honestly. You're like, let's save it for another time. Skipping down, sorry. I agree with that, Sarah. Sarah says, I heard someone say recently that our inner child is our true self minus ego. I think that we come out pure in a lot of ways, but very quickly we get inundated by all these opinions, beliefs, people, relationships, all of these things that really change and shape us. And I really, truly believe that, one of our spiritual journeys in this life is to undo a lot of that conditioning, learning, traumas, My true self was about 12. That video was awesome. Deadpool is my spirit guy. I like your energy, Batman. I had another psychic tell me I didn't have psychic ability, and it kind of stuck with me. Well, Silly Rabbit, you can tell her to F off. Just kidding. Because I say so, because everyone has it. Sometimes people... I won't get on that train. Just know that they might not understand how the psychic ability works. Everyone has it. Your psychic ability might be lower in her perception, but that doesn't mean you don't have it. Clairvoyant and clairaudient. Nice. I think I'm waiting on Karen. Karen, if you have a question, throw it up. Yes, some people really experience their intuition through their dreams. That is where I used to reside a lot until I had a kid. Now I don't get enough sleep, so my dreams are just not there. But I would get so much through my dreams. I am a transformed starseed. I went to sleep a star. Thank you for making me laugh tonight, Batman. Of course, thanks for being here, Sarah. Okay. I also had a little... Okay, I will do another guessing game while we wait for Karen. But Karen, you're still like in the queue. I also had a little bit of Messenger of Death as well. Just a child. I had two of them. Like a guy, like a spirit come through, Silly Rabbit? When will my intuition be stronger? Ooh, that's a good question. I want to go with the tarot. Sorry. Keeping up with the chat is like keeping up with like 12 different conversations sometimes. All right. we're going, speaking of inner child, well, I wasn't a child when I got this deck, but this is my first deck that I ever bought. I didn't realize it was a tarot deck, and I did not understand how to read it. But this is it's seen a lot of wear and tear. I used to take it camping, and like there was one morning where I got very drunk with friends the night before. I woke up and it was like in a puddle of water. I have not been good to this deck, but its energy just is so like strong because I've had it for so long. Anyways, Karen, when will Karen's intuition be stronger? And I will answer the timeline question, but I am also asking like when these things happen, that's like the intention that I'm setting, then your intuition will go. So we have the Two of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Ace of Swords. So minor energy, Karen, this doesn't seem like you need to do anything major. Two of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. I shouldn't have pulled these many cards. Whoops. It's been a while since I've done a live. Hang on. I'll sum them all up quickly. Honestly, the energy that I'm getting from this, Karen, is like just deciding that it's going to get stronger. Because I have the Ace of Swords. This is like thoughts dropping out of the universe. Like you making the active decision to just be better, do better. I'm going to be more psychic. Like it's not anything that you need to put work into. Like aces, I don't feel are like you need to go out and do any work. It's just about trusting that the universe is going to help you and it being dropped into your lap. Sometimes that's not the advice we need. Sometimes we do need to put in the hard work. But like to me, Karen, this is saying that there's no elbow grease that's needed. Like there's nothing that it's intention. It's just deciding your intuition will be stronger. And then the other two cards, Two of Pentacles, this to me says you need to balance a little bit more of your left brain, right brain. Like maybe you sit in one of them a little too much. Also, not so much in addition to like, left brain, right brain, intuitive mind versus analytical mind, this could just be like balancing having more time for your intuition in your life, like doing your day-to-day normal things that you do, but then also carving out time to do little psychic games, to do psychic work, to connect with your guides, whatever that means to you. It could just be going on a nature walk. It doesn't always have to be sitting down and doing psychic development games, I feel like there just needs to be a little bit more time dedicated to it, and then just the intention of like it's going to happen and I don't need to do anything. Like that's not always the best advice that I would give out, but sometimes people just do need to give themselves permission to be psychic. That's what it is, Karen. You need to give yourself permission to be a stronger psychic. Because the Eight of Swords is basically like, there's all these fears and scary things and obstacles in my way. And it's kind of like, no. Like maybe yes, but your intuition is knowing that you can tap into it at any time. No matter what's going on in my life, yes, that's going to make it harder if I've got things in my life going on that's stressing me out, that's, making it so that I'm not a clean and clear vessel for that psychic information to flow through. But it's also an intention that no matter what, I can connect, and I can connect right now. And I give myself permission to be psychic. I give myself permission for it to come through and come through stronger. I think it's all about intention for you, Karen, at this current moment. Yes. Thank you, Karen, for being a member. Also, Karen's both a member on Patreon and YouTube. Thank you. Like, I see. Silly Rabbit. You had a dream of how someone would pass away. I definitely have had those too. Lots of them. Yay. One of my spies is so hyper, she's like screaming 24/7. That's cute. I don't know how you do it, Lauren. Well, check out my channel. I tell you how I do it. Just teasing. That messenger of death is scary. That must just be a term I've never heard before. I have to look that up. trying to scroll. It was Miss Cleo's. Is that the name of the deck? Aces making the decision. I don't know what's going on, but you guys are having fun. I love it. My parents paid Miss Cleo's car payment. This is a reference that I'm not understanding. Okay, it's on then. Yes, Karen. Oh, Adrian, this deck, unfortunately, you cannot buy it. It's not in print anymore. I found it on Amazon, but it's like people selling it and selling it for like a lot of money. But what I love about this deck is that each card is a fairy tale. That's why I grabbed it, because it seemed not scary. And back then I had no idea what tarot cards were. But yeah, they're like fairy tales from all around the world, which at the time, I don't think there were a lot of those that had been done. Now I literally have a whole nother tarot deck that is that exact same thing. So like here's the three little, or not, Goldilocks. You know, there's Goldilocks. I'm just seeing if there's any other ones that I recognize. I know there's like Jack and the Beanstalk in here. Prince of Persia, maybe? I can't remember. Oh, the Emperor's, the Emperor No Clothes one, whatever that one is. Snow White. Oh, don't look at me. Focus. Yeah, I love this deck too. And I loved it because like it was so mysterious and it like got my attention, but I didn't know what it was. So I was like, oh my gosh, what is this magic? Princess and the Pea. Something like Cobbler. I don't remember these. I should, now that I have a kid. I should be reading him these stories. And then the one where they push the old lady, she tries to eat him. By the way, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked right now. Have you guys watched Dahmer? Ugh. I know I talk about like being an empath and like not watching things that are too intense, but oh my god, I'm such a sucker for him. Freaking love Dahmer. Love it. It's intense though. If you don't like gore, anything that's anxiety inducing, don't watch it. Not too late to get a reading. I'm distracted. Send a donation if you want to get to the top. Otherwise, all right, thank you. Somebody sent a donation. And then I'll catch up on game readings as well that are free. Sorry. I will get back on track. I'm out of practice. That's a good affirmation. Yes. And and my coach used to say it all the time that like, I say these things to myself, but then I forget that they're like a thing, you know? Lucinda's like, let's go and do colors. I don't know how you do it in relation to reading all the chat. Yes. No, it's definitely hard. I just have to force myself to ignore the chat when I'm reading. Miss Cleo was the psychic hotline in the 90s. What? You guys, I gotta look this up. Okay, hang on. Miss Cleo. That's interesting. What was I gonna write down? Hang on. Sorry, I'm like coming up with vlog ideas right now. Or video ideas that I need to add. It's like the one video, I'll spoil it now, is I'm going to do the different types of readings. For those of you who read other people, I'm going to talk about like the pros and cons of doing like email versus phone versus video calls versus what else do I do? In-person readings versus events. And one thing I keep forgetting about including is live, because a lot of readers do live readings. And I should talk about that. And then a lot of people also do readings through those like websites like Keen. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They're like a big, I don't know what to call them. They're like a conglomerate of psychics. And at any time you can jump on and find someone live and get a reading from them. And it's usually like a per minute thing. I have opinions on that. But I'll talk about that more in my video. But I keep forgetting to write it down, and I'm worried I'm gonna forget. Okay. Call me now was her sales pitch. Well, that just shows how out of date I am. 30s and above? You mean 40s and above? I'm so lost. Sorry, guys. Okay. None your business. I love it. Okay. None your business. What's coming towards me this month in general? Let's do, I know exactly what they want to do. Which deck? This deck. Okay. They want me to give you an overarching energy. And then I'm hearing like obstacles, but also like information. Okay. Overall energy. Ooh, letting go. Allowing a higher force to take charge for a time. So none your business. It feels like you've been pushing to try to make something happen. And this month is all about just letting go. Just not worrying about the outcome. Just not trying to force or control anything, letting go. Maybe just if you're wanting to put energy towards anything, it's about letting go of the things that no longer work. My husband is definitely in this like transition period right now where he doesn't know what he wants next, but he knows what's not working. And so maybe that's just the energy that you hold, the intention that you hold, letting go. I will say that this is something else I'm going to cover in that podcast that I keep mentioning. Last month, I did this like full force. I truly let go in a lot of ways. I said, universe, what's next? What do I do? I'm letting go. Tell me what's next. And it's helped me make a ton of decisions around my business that I think are going to help me make more money, but also help me simplify. And I feel like it's all good stuff that I needed to be doing for a really long time that I was just ignoring. So like Nanya, I'm getting that like similar energy going on. Yes. Is it moving naively? No. Okay. So I got the Fool card. So I asked, what's the overall energy? It's all about letting go. And then I just asked for 3 additional cards to kind of clarify. I feel like some of them are obstacles, some of them are guidance. This one's guidance. The Fool card in this deck looks like this, which is Little Red Riding Hood. It's innocence. It's kind of the energy of like going out and being unaware of your surroundings to a point where you put yourself in danger. So Nanya, they're saying like, don't go into that. You know, that's not the energy that we want of like, you're so adrift that you're not paying attention to things or you're being naive or like risky. It's the opposite of that. It's kind of being open. You know, the Fool card in tarot is we want to be ready, open for new opportunities. We want to accept new things without letting our fear, our self-beliefs, our past expectations, you know, our habits of just the way we do things get in our way. And then we have the 7 of Swords. And okay, so it feels like with your business, there's a lot of thoughts. This is Billy Goat Gruff, by the way. This is like you thinking that there's a troll under the bridge. It's afraid of, there's stuff that you're afraid of. You know, maybe that's the fear of not making enough money, the fear that you're not going to have enough clients. There's a lot of fears that you have that are actually, I pulled this in reverse, that are actually not there. There's no troll under the bridge. There's no, you know, lack there. It's all just kind of made up in your head. So one of the reasons why you need to be adrift at this time is to recognize those fears and say, no more fears. No. I don't subscribe to this anymore. I recognize you for what you are. I'm going to let you go. And then the last card, 8 of Pentacles for, you just said in general, but why? I felt like you were talking about business. Maybe that's what's coming through most. But if the business thing doesn't make sense and it feels like it's another area of your life, like take it as well. Eight of Pentacles. Eight. Recorrection. Eights, like sevens and eights. I always forget in tarot. Eights, I think, are recorrection, is what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's right, but I asked them to tell me, which is what you can do in tarot. If you don't know, just ask intuitively. It's recorrection. It's like you're on the right path. You might need to take a pause. There's a little bit of a break that needs to happen. Oh, I know this card. There's something about working with other people. There's like other people in your way. I was also kind of seeing that in this card as well. There's like other people that have been distracting you. Maybe there's relationships in your life that aren't serving you. I think that's kind of it. And so being adrift, like, and when I think of being adrift, it's like just not making any plans, doing what you need to do the bare minimum, but then just being wide open to messages, to, hey, what do I need to let go of? What's not working for me? I do feel like there's some relationships in your life that might be causing some of these fears, that might not be helping you. I'm even hearing it could be just self-sabotage in general. Honestly, overall in any business, it feels like a lot of like fears, self-sabotage, and you just got to let go of trying to manifest, because your energy is just not going to help that manifest, because you just have so much lack going on in your brain, in your mind. Like you're so focused on all the things that could go wrong that it's not helping you move forward. So it's about moving forward, just being so open, not to a naive point where it's like negative, but being open to new experiences, new ways of thinking is what I'm hearing. Being open to your own thoughts as well, so that you can examine what's coming through. I feel like you just haven't slowed down to like think all these things through. And sometimes you literally have to clear your schedule so that you can do that. Otherwise, you just go from next thing to next thing to next thing. All right, I'm going to end it there. Thank you for the donation, Nanya. Hansel and Gretel, thank you. Okay. You know, Silly Rabbit, maybe that's why I can deal with those movies a lot better, is because as a filmmaker, and I went to film school, I saw all the behind the scenes of how that stuff worked. So I actually do have like a mantra in my head. I'm like, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. Sometimes I'll tell myself that. Oh, yes. Handmaid's Tale is so good. I haven't caught up with it, though. I'm behind on so much. I have tried a few of Sylvia Browne's books, but I really did not like how, and maybe this is because I'm this way sometimes too, I didn't like how black and white she was, how matter of fact she was. She very much in her book said, this is how it works. This is how the afterlife works. This is how everything works, and I'm right, and this is the only way. Like, I try really hard not to claim how anything works on the other side. I just try to focus on how to connect to it. I don't try to get into the weeds of why. You know, I feel like that's getting into religion and spirituality. I'm just focused on like the skill of it. I don't know if that answers your question. I think she was amazing in that she brought so many people to this realm. And so I think anybody that does that is amazing. But like, I think her content is a little outdated for today's day and age, unfortunately. Good night, everyone. Sorry I missed y'all. Oh, okay. Thank you, Nanya. I'll do another reading. I also can't do the operating shows. Sylvia Brown was too much in the old Matrix. And I think those people served their purpose during that time in that place, but things just like change. And it just shows how much like society can influence the things that you say. And I'm sure like even 50 years from now, if somebody looked back at my content, they would see how it's influenced by the time. That's why I think you can never remove that ego. And so it's very important to always like point it out, you know? Okay. Any spirit guide messages? Okay. What is this in regards to? So this is all like about intuition. I will say like the bottom of the deck, I looked at it and I saw listening. And then I pulled the Moonlight card, which is also about intuition. Wizard of Awareness, to me, this is trusting your own intuition, trusting your own gut, trusting yourself, even just from an analytical standpoint. Going within and not just listening to what everyone else has to say. And I got Rock Bottom in reverse. And so I'm asking, I'm getting the general like energy here, but I want to know what this is about. Ooh, Temperance. Let me start with Temperance. I remember how much this card used to throw me off, and I would pull it all the time. All the time I would pull this card. Now I know what it means. So Temperance, this card is kind of similar to the last, someday I read like maybe 1 or 2 ago. It's about I think it was Jordan, long works being created over time. It's understanding that like sometimes you're frustrated with life. It's not where you want it to be, but it's hard because you don't see the grander picture. You don't see where it's headed. But really, when you get through the rough times at the end, you can look back and realize, wow, all of those things happened for a reason. But sometimes when you're in the middle of it, you just can't see. And it seems like there's no point to it. Yeah, I think that's what this is about. So anywhere in life that you feel this way, where you're just like, I don't see the point, I don't see the vision, I don't see where this is headed. Maybe that's your career, maybe that's relationships. Understand that you're in the middle of it and you are experiencing things that are putting you under pressure that will change you. And at the end, you will come out changed and you will realize that's what you need to manifest, to get through whatever this is. Temperance is really like, I like to think of the metaphor of like crushing, I can't remember what diamonds are made of. And I always say this in my live nights and I never go look it up. But like whatever it is it carbon that makes diamonds? Like whatever it is, I'm going to stop myself before I sound like an idiot. But it's like high pressure, something creates diamonds. I don't know what it is. And that's similar to this card. It's basically saying that you're being put under pressure. The world is stepping on you. You feel like life sucks. And it's for a reason. And you're going to come out a totally changed person. This isn't just like minor inconveniences. Maybe it is, but it all has a purpose. And it's I know I use the word up level you a lot, but like that's how I see it. I see up leveling as you're moving into a new phase of your life where you've learned all the lessons enough that you don't need to go back anymore. You've learned the lesson enough. You're not going to go back. So Temperance, that's what's going on right now. Nanya, and right, the message here is to trust your intuition. Trusting your intuition a little bit more than your analytical mind. I think that's the case, especially when I'm pulling the literal like intuition cards. Wizard of Awareness, this is also just saying like there's some things that don't make sense, and outside opinions, other people trying to help you, looking up things online, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't help. And it's all about trusting your gut where you feel like, I just heard you are your own medicine. You know your own medicine. Everything, I always say it very badly, but I believe in the idea that we can access anything that we need from the divine internally. Like we don't need to go outside. And the further we go outside, sometimes the harder it is to find that. And so this is about trusting you in that inner voice, whether it be logical or intuitive, which is this card, because at the end of the day, you know what to do. And with the Rock Bottom card in reverse, this is saying like, again, you're not going backwards. It's very hard to see it in your position right now, but you're really not going backwards. And you won't, again, it's this idea of up leveling, but you just can't see what that new level is until you get there. But trust that you're not going to fall back into the old, if that makes sense. All right. Thank you, Nenya. I hope that resonated. I love that message. I feel like that was a little bit for me too. Come watch the doctor operate on the cat. Yeah, those ones, I mean, there's definitely ones that I just cannot watch. Like any animals being harmed, and now kids. Before I could like do it, but now that I have my own kid, like can't watch that stuff anymore. I'd be so sensy. That's the Hierophant and the High Priestess. Coal. Okay. What did I say? Carbon. Scroll down. Okay. Carbon made diamonds. Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, because my diamond is that's what I'm thinking of, because my diamond is a lab grown diamond. Right? I think they use carbon in some sense of the word. What are you guys talking about your favorite tarot cards? You're welcome, Nenya. You get superpowers if you use a Pokemon deck. Oh my gosh, I should try that. That would be so much fun to just try reading with a Pokemon deck. My husband was huge into Pokemon, and he's so mad that he gave his brother his deck, thinking he would just keep it safe, but apparently like someone else stole from him. And my husband always talks about how he would have had a Pokemon card that was like 20 grand or something like that nowadays. But I would totally steal it for that purpose, just to see. Game time. Do it. Oh, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't know if you're talking to me. If you are, sorry. All right. We are caught up on donations. So let's do another guessing game. I am thinking of a color. If you can guess the color I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. Oh, do it. Oh, Pokemon cards. Well, see, he doesn't have them, so I can't. He has the magic cards. Adrian, it was red. Bam. Oh, so many of you got it almost. Jana and Karen were like right there. I know, Karen, you technically said Ted, but I'll have to go off of it spelled right. I guess I haven't done that in the past. All right, who was that again? It was Adrian. Adrian, it was red. Feel free to throw up a question. My daughter gave me a reading using Uno cards. That's so awesome. I'm going to do a video. One of the videos I'm about to record is like how tools can be both good and bad. And I was going to use, I'm psychic. I was going to use various things to show that anything can be a psychic tool, but then I'm also going to like talk about how they can be a crutch. Adrian, what do I need to know right now? Red popped in immediately. Yes. Sometimes you have to go with that first initial gut feeling. You can pick up a new deck of Pokemon cards. Oh, I guess that's true. The local McDonald's, sometimes I see their kid toys have Pokemon cards as like the toy. And I was like, man, I would be so disappointed if I got Pokemon cards as like a toy for my Happy Meal. But I'm sure those are like cheap and they don't have like a full set. Maybe I'll try it. Don't have my glasses tonight. Sorry, Karen. You were so close. I have it recorded on Snapchat. Nice. Okay. So Adrian wants to know, what does she need to know right now? Freedom. What is this in regards to? Oh, that's funny too, because the card is very red as well. Freedom, independence, self-determination. Oh, and I forgot to say too, I'm gonna be on probably I'm gonna cap myself at another 30 minutes. So 9:15 mountain time. It's 8:45 right now. So 30 more minutes. Let's see how many we can get to. Okay. Independence, self-determination. Yes, this is around money. This is around money, Adrian. Because I asked for a clarifier and I got the Queen of Pentacles. And Queen of Pentacles to me is abundance. Abundance, especially in the form of material, earthly things. So thinking about your home, your stability, your finances, your money, your job, work, very like roof over your head. It's the blah, blah, blah. It's the human experience that we're having now, not necessarily the spiritual. And so right now, I think your guys are coming through and just giving you encouragement that you can accomplish the dreams that you want financially, or within your job, whatever it is that's like first coming to mind for you. And it requires independence. It requires you to do things out of the box, to maybe not rely on others, to not listen to others is more what I'm hearing. It's this rebellious energy. This mermaid has like a skull on her shirt. This is just thinking about like the energy of her. Like, look at her posture, look at her attitude, look at her energy. It's kind of about embodying this as you move forward into manifesting your financial goals. I'm just going to use financial as an overarching statement. However, with the Queen of Pentacles, this is saying that you're almost there. You're already manifesting this in a lot of ways, but what's needed next is doing more of the inner work around it. The Queen is a lot more, the Queen in Tarot is a lot more like taking a pause to go inwards. Like, it's focusing on our self-limiting beliefs. It's focusing on triggers. It's focusing on fears. It's the stuff that's keeping us from feeling like we can get into this energy. So where do you stop yourself from jumping into this energy? Like, what stops you? Is it when somebody else says something? Is it when, you don't make a certain amount of money or something? It's stopping, identifying those self-limiting beliefs, doing the inner work around them so you can get rid of them. And not saying you can't like make the situation never happen again, but it's about your response in those situations. It's saying, not subscribing to this anymore. I'm good. Cool. Fear, you can take the back seat, but you're not driving. How is that butterbeer attack you were having last week? You guys, that butterbeer was so good. Oh, I made 2 batches, 2 whole recipes of it. It was so good. And it probably made like 10 cups each. And my husband and I were just guzzling it. You'll see it in the next week's video. So YouTube videos are back for those of you who are just now joining. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. And it's going to start with my Sabbath video. I know not everyone's a fan of it, but I really enjoy making those videos. So you're going to see the last 2 Sabbaths that happened, which were the summer solstice. No, that doesn't sound right. What were the last 2? There's one summer festival. Oh, no. Wait. Why can't I remember? Yeah. No, sorry. It was the one. It's the Lunasa. Sorry. Lunasa, which is in between the summer solstice and fall equinox. So there's a Sabbath in between that. And that was Lunasa. So I did that Sabbath, and then I did the fall equinox. Equinox, you're right, yes. And so I did those 2 Sabbaths. So that's what you're going to get next. That's the 3rd video in my Sabbath series. There will be one more, which will be Samhain and Yule, which is literally Halloween and Christmas. That is going to be like probably the most popular one out of all of them. However, this one you're going to see next week. I will wrap it up. Anyways, you're describing the Queen like a Mercury retrograde. I bought 2 books about manifesting money. Yes. I think they're probably just confirming that, Adrian, and cheering you on to keep at it. That's awesome. All right. There's no donations, right? Yeah, I'm good. And let's do another guessing game. Oh, wow. Then yeah, I'm getting it. I really was connecting to that. Yeah. Sometimes that energy of other people can totally bring you down. It's not that they're like malicious or mean about it. It's just that, their energy can definitely affect yours. Okay. I am thinking of an animal. If you can think of the animal that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. I just went to the zoo this last week. So I'm thinking of one of the animals there. Oh, silly rabbit. Bam. Giraffe. Have I read you tonight, silly rabbit? I don't think I have. I didn't actually see the giraffes, but my son bought a giraffe, the little heads on a stick, and you pull the thing at the bottom and they open their mouth. That's the new favorite toy at the current moment. I saw it in my head. Yay! Silly rabbit, let me know what your question is. Yeah, I'm excited. Let me think, Ella. Well, here, let's do another one really quick. So we'll do silly rabbit followed by whoever guesses this next one. I don't know what that is. I am thinking of. What am I thinking? Why is it so hard to come up with something to think about? I'm trying to pull from the video game that I've been playing. Okay, I am thinking of a fruit. If you can guess the fruit that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. It shouldn't be this complicated, but it is. Okay, but silly rabbit, you'll still get it first. This next guessing game will be next. I'm thinking of a fruit. Fruit. Seeds or no seeds? No seeds. It's definitely a fruit. Shoot. Or yeah. Oh, crap. Now you got me second guessing again. Definitely a fruit, though. I think most people would be like, yeah, that's a fruit. Even if we're all wrong. Lemon. Sarah, you got it. Sarah K. Lemon. Backwards. Okay, that's what I thought. Fruit has seeds. Yes, okay. Yeah, I was like, yeah, lemon has seeds. And then I was like, wait. Don't worry, you guys. I'll get it one day. Here, I'm going to write it down on my little sheet because, fruit has seeds. Then I won't forget. No seeds. Wait, but what about cucumbers? That must be a fruit then, right? Is cucumber a fruit? You're welcome, Sarah. I'll just go with whoever drops their question first, either Silly Rabbit or Sarah. I don't know if any of y'all play video games. I have been strictly a Sims person from literally Sims 1. I played the original Sims that came out right when I was a kid. I've been playing all the versions since. However, ever since I had my son, I just can't sit down and do it because The Sims, I'm going on a side tangent here, but The Sims is very you create your own. Eureka! Yay! I know, Sims is free now. You know how much I spent on that garbage? I hate when they do that. I might jump up to Jordan just because Jordan donated again. Yeah, let's do that because that's my rule. And then I'll go, okay, Jordan, Silly Rabbit, Sarah. Okay. Anyways, let me finish my tangent about The Sims. Sims, it's basically open, you create a character And you can do anything. Like there's no like goals or quests or anything. You just decide how you want to play. So you can build a house, you can go to a job, you can build I don't know, you can make up your own story in your head and have them like accomplish those goals, but there's no like you got to do these things and do these things to get to like the next level. It's a simulation of like it's like playing a dollhouse, right? And I can't do it anymore after my son because like it's so open-ended. I just can't find the time to like give it 14, 15 hours like I used to. Not in like one sitting, but to create a story over a long amount of time, it requires like a lot of time. And I couldn't do it as well because it's like, oh, I've got to get up. I've got to go take care of my kid. I can't sit here and play. And, there's a lot of other stuff around that of just feeling guilty of like not playing. But the new game that I'm playing is called Dreamlight Valley. Tell me if you guys have heard of it. If any of y'all are playing it, I am addicted. Freaking love it. Like I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about playing that game and finishing Dahmer and the new Game of Thrones series. There's so many things out that I want to watch right now. Anyways, okay, Jordan. Last question of the night. I don't mind waiting behind those on the second game. No worries. Well, that's the perk of donating. How is M doing with the rituals I've been doing? Let's ask. Yeah, let's use these ones. Is this like an ancestor? You don't have to answer that question. That's like half rhetorical, half for your guides. I'm just going to say what I'm getting, but like this feels weird. It feels like you're manifesting M more into existence. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what I'm getting through these rituals. I feel like you're making them stronger, which sounds weird to me. But that's what I'm getting. But there's also something about an ancestor. What is that? Either this is working alongside an ancestor or is an ancestor. Oh, I don't remember. Prince. I forgot that this tarot deck has princes and princesses, so it's probably a knight. Okay. So the first card that I pulled for you, Jordan, almost like similar energy to the last reading, like literally the Coral's wisdom of things taking a long time. This is Imrama, sorry, Wander Voyage, Crossing Deep Waters, Pilgrimage, Journey of the Soul. And this is M. They're on a journey. They are learning things. Now I'm just so curious who this M is. You don't have to tell me. Obviously, that's private. But they're going on their own journey. You are helping them along it somehow. They're getting mad at me. They're saying, Lauren, you as humans can help us as spiritual beings as well. It's not just one way. That's cool. There's no reason. That's so cool. I've never heard this before. They're telling me that like part of the reason why our spiritual team teams up with us and they decide I'm staying up here, you're going down there. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but they're saying that sometimes they do that because they want you to give them information that they might have forgotten about this existence in this life. That's cool. I've never thought about it in that way. I guess that could totally happen. So that's what's happening. You are helping this guide, this spirit, whatever it is. And let's see. This is cool. I've never like done it. Normally everyone asks like how it's helping them, but not like what do they think, or how are they, So I think that's a cool question. And I feel like I pulled past, present, future. Past, we got the magician. This is somebody who can manifest everything. I want you to look at the artwork of this, Jordan, because I feel like this is symbolic for the things that you've been doing with M. Will you focus, please? There we go. Look at this card. Isn't it beautiful? There's like a ton of images in it, in this smoke. Like I'm seeing a dragon, some sort of like, I don't know if it's a ferret or a rabbit. There's something about this imagery that you're supposed to see. I feel like maybe this is you during these rituals. Like the intended effect is working. The magician being M feels like in the past there was no limit. There still is no limits, is what I'm hearing. They were able to manifest things and totally be in alignment with all sense of self. Like when I think of the magician, I think of the cups, the swords, the wands, the pentacles. They are united in all the elements, all air, earth, fire, water. It's like you're whole. I don't know how else to describe it. And they can, because they're whole, they can do anything. But what's interesting is with the present and the future, we're getting movement, new ideas and movement, new ideas and new emotions and movement around that. That is why the journey card is coming up, is for whatever reason, what you've been doing is helping M move along emotionally and mentally, even though they're like limitless already. That's so cool. That's super cool. I'm gonna have to really think about that one. That's awesome. That's so cool. All right. Thank you, Jordan. Okay, let me do Silly Rabbit, and then I'll catch up on the chat. Me and Miguel X got into a recent argument. Will he realize he crossed the line, or was I wrong being too proud and stubborn? Got it. Okay, let's do. I'm gonna do advice for you, advice for him. He needed to be more present in the situation with his emotions, with his thoughts. I think he was maybe either too focused on the past or the future. And then with you intuitively knew what to do, but maybe you didn't voice that. Like you intuitively know what was, you knew what was happening, or maybe what the issue was or what the solution was, but you didn't speak up. So there's like equal things going wrong, because I got the present for him and visions for you. Again, I think he wasn't being very present in what he wanted to say, what he meant to say, because he was too focused on the past or the future. And again, you saw things a little bit better. Because essentially what you're asking is whose fault is it, in a way? And I'm kind of getting that was no one person's fault. It was miscommunication. He could have communicated better. You could have communicated better. The ideal situation would have been him being more present in his emotions, recognizing them, saying them, and better explaining himself is what I'm getting. And same almost with you, of like, you saw the situation and maybe you held back, even though you're saying you were too stubborn. I'm kind of getting this like holding back of like, you used old tactics over what you knew you should have been saying or doing. You resorted to the stubbornness, which is like an old version of you. Anything else on this whole situation? Intention. What was the intention that you guys both brought? Was it to win? Was it to honor your boundaries? Was it to hurt the other person? It's all about your intention. Would you guys, I've been thinking about this a lot. Would you guys ever want to hear like a podcast on like relationship advice? I feel like it's an area that like I know so well and it comes so naturally to me. Not saying I'm like the best ever, but like I feel like my husband and I have such a strong relationship, and I see so many other people not have this, and this is just silly rabbit, nothing to do with you, it just had me thinking about it. I feel like my guys have been sometimes telling me that I need to share that information, but then I'm like, oh, well, that's not on brand. And then other times I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's just me being a little too prideful as well. Maybe I think I'm all that in a bag of chips, and I'm really not. Anyways, let me catch up on chat, and then Sarah, I'll jump back to you. You guys are so nice. Do the other person. Do the other person. I'm totally patient. Oh yeah. I don't think I was wrong, but in the spirit of balance, I keep my mind open. I don't think you were wrong. I just think you were wrong in the sense of like not speaking your truth in a way. Demon Souls and Elden Ring are nice to play. My husband has played Elden Ring, and the amount of time my husband dumped into Skyrim was ridiculous. He tried to get me to play Skyrim, and I made myself a cat. I named my character Mufasa because that's right. And I was just like, I was effing around and not doing anything seriously. And he was like trying to be like, no, this is how you play. And I was like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to go over here and punch this person. And then I get in trouble and the cops come after you. Or it's not the cops, but like the townspeople. Anyway. Jenna, yes, if you want to squeeze one more in, we've got 5 minutes left. So I'm probably after, who was it? Was it Sarah? I'm going to probably cut it off to donations only. Sorry, I should have said that sooner. The Sims was so odd and creepy. Yes, it definitely used to be, and in a way it still is, for sure. And Jana, I don't watch YouTubers. I can't watch other people play games. I can watch other people go on vacation happily. I binge Disney park vloggers. Like I could tell you all the Disney park vloggers that I love. But I don't watch Sims YouTubers. I would much rather be playing it myself than watching it, you know? Doom and Diablo. I don't think I've ever heard of that. One game sort of guy, tried to get in Minecraft, but realized, yeah, you gotta, like, I've literally only been a Sims person. I've tried other games. Like, I have like, the Game of Thrones PS4 game. Couldn't make it through that. I did a few, like, Lego games on the Wii, like the Harry Potter Lego games. Oh, I tried, the one, Kingdom Hearts. I wanted to like that one because it was Disney, but it was so complicated and I hated it because it was really like, I don't mean to be sexist about this, but it was made for boys, and boy games at the time I was growing up and girl games were two totally different things. And nowadays, like there's so many games out there that are geared towards both men and women, but when I was growing up, it was like, oh, you get Barbie. And then my brother got to play like four-wheeling and 007 and all of these other games, and it was just not interesting to me. Jana, you played WoW? Oh my goodness. I'm surprised, Jana. You don't strike me as that type. That's awesome. Hard to say, to be honest, but not blood-wise. Gotcha. Everyone is quiet now. We are all listening. When I stop paying attention to the chat, I think that's also what happens. Sorry. No, it's not too late, Sarah. Throw in your question. I'm glad I saw it. Yes, that's not on brand. I think maybe I'm not being clear, Silly Rabbit, but I feel like you saw what was happening and where the conversation started to derail. And it was more that you didn't speak up about, like, hey, the conversation as a whole, like, hey, this conversation is going downhill. You might have like said your truth over here about like the context of the argument, but it was something about like you not derailing or getting the train back on the tracks with him. It was almost like you saw the argument going in a better way, and he didn't see that, so it was kind of your responsibility to get it back on track. Does that make sense? I don't think you were wrong in sharing how you felt, though. And I think, Silly Rabbit, your feelings are totally valid. I downloaded the Sims background music on a CD. Why, Jenna? Was it relaxing? That's so funny. Oh my goodness. I thought I was going crazy. That's so funny. What's funny now is that some of that music, so music, you can hold on to the rights, but after a while, it can be up for grabs. It's like public domain. And so The Sims, I will hear it sometimes in like videos. I will see it in games. I will see it in, oh gosh, what was it? There's something that like I saw it in that clearly the person used it for their video. And every time I listen to it, I'm like, that's a Sims music. Like, how did they get that? And it's probably just that it went to public domain. Okay, thank you. On February 7th, 2019, did I actually die? Oh my goodness. So I'll say I first heard yes, but then I heard in a way. It feels like you left and came back. But in like our technical standards of like, did you die? I don't think you did. I felt like your soul left. Like they're showing me the equivalent of like dreaming. And maybe you had such a profound experience that it felt like you died, but I don't think your body actually did. So I'm just going to ask, in what way, like, did you die? That's odd. I feel like this might be something to explore because I got commitment and then the moon. Which now that I know the tarot, I've literally, since my tarot course has not touched this deck, I should play with it. I wonder what fairy tale this is. Because when I see commitment, I'm like, what? I think at some sub level, Sarah, like subconscious level, you hit the reset button. Like you didn't want to commit to the life that you once had. And so in a lot of ways, your soul was like recommitting. And when I think of commitment, I also think of like literally two people coming together, like holding hands. In a way, you separated from the things that weren't working. And you came back and you said, no, I am going to try again. And with the moon card is all about trusting your intuition, both on this, but also it's about removing the masks of who you don't want to be. And so with this other card that's coming through, it really feels like in a lot of ways your soul was like maybe fed up with something. Maybe that's not what the situation itself was. But at like a subconscious level, like I feel like if you really did some digging of like what was going on in your life at the time and how you've changed since, I feel like at some point you said, I want to take off these masks. I don't want to live this way anymore. Tell me if that resonates. I'm wondering if I'm right there or not. It just felt like a recommitment. Like you were about to walk away and then you're like, no, I'm going to try again. Because you thought it was well made. Nice. That's so awesome. I love that. I can't listen to it because like instantly you go back into like playing that game and you just think about Sims and like you just can't listen to it. And I always say the same thing happens with the videos that we make for clients. Like if I'm editing a video for a school, or like recently we did a video for a medical company that made this like product that they're trying to sell, and the music in the background. You're editing, you're spending hours and hours and hours listening to the same music over and over again. And if I hear that music elsewhere, it'll immediately remind me of that edit, that video, and I just can't think of it in any other way besides that video, you know? Jenna, you're cool and I'm not being sarcastic. I don't think it's heavy. You'd be surprised at the things I've heard. Hello, Kelly. I know. Well, good news, Kelly. Videos are coming back next week. I've been filming videos this whole time. So to me, it feels like I haven't really stopped. I mean, besides my vacation that I took, I've been filming a lot. So now I'm basically going into the October videos, but it'll cover more than that. And then I'm going to basically jump back into my course, and my goal is by the end of the year to have 2/3 of my course filmed back into regular YouTube uploads. I'm going to talk about all of this and kind of give the minutia of all these updates, why I'm making them in a podcast. I just need to sit down and record it. I was thinking about doing it tonight, but I don't think I am. Probably definitely do it tomorrow, but then I'm going to have to edit it. So yes, videos are coming back. Also, Patreon is always still there. We're still doing tons of things over there. Like a week from tonight, we're going to have our psychic game night. I'm going to send you a reminder, everyone in Patreon. I know I haven't really told you that yet, but there it is. You had an MRI go very wrong. Oh my goodness, that's scary. Anaphylactic shock. Wow. That's crazy. Lauren, I donated the $7. All right. Hit me up, Silly Rabbit. What's your question? I assume through Venmo? Oh, yeah. You sent me 2. Did you? You might have accidentally sent me 2. Or maybe that was purposeful, but... Or maybe not. It just sent me 2 text messages, apparently. Never mind. Ignore me. I only see 1 in Venmo. Okay. You've been considering it your rebirth date. Interesting. You're welcome, Sarah. The building music. Oh my gosh, yeah. I feel like I can even remember it right now. I think the other game that I'm playing right now. I'm playing Dreamlight Valley, which is a Disney game, and it's basically like you build your character. It's a simulation, but it's also that you're trying to save all the characters and bring them back to Dreamlight Valley because they've all forgotten and they've all like gone away and disappeared. And so it's a little bit more quest driven. Like you have to find objects, you have to help the people on the little island so that you can find all the other people. Like it's a little bit of like foraging materials, building materials, interacting with like other people, but it's also like at your own pace. Like you can choose your like how your character looks. Like it's a much more casual style game, I think is what it's called. It's similar to Sims, but it's not so unvetted, or no, that's not the word. It's not so open that you can just do anything and everything and get bored. Like there's plenty to do. Okay. Okay, Silly Rabbit. And we'll probably wrap up after Silly Rabbit, just so we know. We'll hang out for a little bit longer if anyone wants to chat, but this will be the last reading. All right, where does he stand on the argument? If I were to reach out to him now, let's start with the first question. Oh, helping hand. I'm sorry. I just like cut it off right as we were done, right as you asked that question. I've been going for a little over 2 hours. We're going to wrap it up. But I'm going to hang out and chat with you all for a little bit longer. And then I'm going to go finish the Dahmer series. That's what I'm doing with the rest of my night. So good. All right. Where does he stand on the argument? I pulled that same freaking card. You just saw how much I shuffled that. I think, and I was totally getting this before and I didn't say it. I was feeling like he whatever card I pulled of him not being present. That's what it was. He's looking back at it, and he understands what he did wrong, and he's wishing he would have said things better by being more present to his emotions, how he was feeling. Like sometimes we want to dig our heels in with relationships because out of habit or out of fear, and we don't actually say what we're feeling, and we're not actually being vulnerable. And that's what I feel like happened with him. And he's realizing now that the intention that he brought to the conversation was not what he wanted to bring. He might have been, again, too focused on the past, and he might have just gotten into the old anger, is what I'm hearing. But if, like, now he's looking at it and he's like, man, I wish I would have just said how I actually feel now instead of getting sucked back into the old stuff, if that makes sense. If you were to reach out to him now, despite him not owning his part, I don't know what the question is, but I'm hearing yes, as long as you're not trying to rehash the argument. Like the intention should not be like, let's re-talk about this. The intention should be, hey, I just want peace. Like, I'm sorry for my part that I played. Can we start over, restart this conversation? Or not restart this conversation, but like start over and just kind of move on and forget about it. Like, kind of feel like forgetting about it. That's not always the best advice, but I'm hearing that it is for this. Mostly because it just got too messy. There's too many parts to unravel. It's better to just move forward and try to do better in the future conversations. But what was the rest of your question? Would he see me as a pushover? No, and take advantage. No, I kind of feel more like he would be relieved. Let me pull a card, just in case I'm wrong there. I think it would be a little unexpected if you reached out. So he might not be prepared in what to say, so maybe giving him the opportunity of, like, instead of just calling him and being like, let's talk about it right now, it's more of like a, hey, can we talk about this later kind of thing. Trying to figure out if I need to be a Queen of Swords or a Queen of Cups. And what I'll do is I'll ask, which energy should you lean towards? Queen of Swords or Queen of Cups? I'm just kind of asking for a Six of Cups. That's expansion. Expansion, Queen of Cups. I'm feeling like that one. Whatever that means to you, because I have my definitions of it, I think Queen of Cups is what this is coming across as, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Would you call yourself an old soul? I would. Yes, I would. But I feel like, in a weird way, there's some new soul things about me. I don't know. I think those realities can coexist. I was talking to somebody in a reading that I had yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And this animal came through, and he was totally open to reincarnating if this person wanted him to reincarnate. But I've always seen, maybe I've talked about this in a podcast, but I've always seen reincarnation. It was an animal that first brought this idea to me. It was like they showed it to me as if you could see like the outline of a dog. This was another reading, an outline of a dog. And it was almost like they showed me like a chunk of their soul moving into a new body, but then it was mixed with something else. And it was two colors. It was like his current soul was purple, but then there was a new like pink soul, and it made this new dog. So it was like, yes, part of me is still there, but also part of me is not. And it was like this new combo. And I think that goes very against our black and white thinking of like, oh, I am this soul and I move into this next body, and then I move into this next body. I've been told a few times now that it's not, it's a mix. It's like, and I think it also, this stems from my belief, my personal spiritual beliefs, that we all come from like the collective conscious, that we are God. I don't like the word God, but we are source, and we all go back into being a source together. We are all one, and we break apart, we piece apart to experience this human experience, and then we reintegrate. But I feel like it's like this potion, this concoction where like a little piece of this soul and a little piece of this soul will combine and come experience it this way, and then we will return. But I don't really believe in individual souls. I think we're all one. So when I talk about past lives, for example, sorry if you've listened to my podcast on this, but past lives, for example, like I think we've all experienced each other's lives. So I think technically any past life that you feel connected to is accurate. Like there's no wrong, like, no, that's not your past life. Like I think anyone can connect to a past life. And I think the purpose of that is to gain information from that source, from ourselves, from each other, so that we can live this life the best that we can. Lauren opinion. I'm not claiming to know how it works. Just what I've been told. But what was the point of that? Another dog yesterday told me he could reincarnate, and she was asking if he would, or no, she wasn't asking if he would be the same. He made the point again that like, I'm not going to be the same. Like, I'm not going to be the same personality. I'm not going to feel like the same cat is what this was. I might be a little bit different. And again, I saw that mixing of energy. But I do think sometimes they do come back 100% themselves. It was like, boom, boom. You know what I mean? This was all because Karen started me on a tangent. Not that it's your fault. So I feel like that's what I mean by like, there's parts of me that feels like an old soul. Like I was always so much more mature than everyone around me. As like a child, as an adult, I feel like, or as a teenager, I felt like I was infinitely more mature than my parents, and it was weird. It was a weird thing to experience. I felt like I was a lot more mature than a lot of adults in my life, like my teachers. And I was like, how can these people like not see this? And also like with relationships, I feel like I know what needs to be done. And I was not modeled good relationships at all in my life. So like, it's always just come very naturally to me. I don't know how many lifetimes. I don't think I could put a number on it. All of us, if we're on here. Nah, I don't think that I'm that old. Well, and the cat, I was reading another cat yesterday. You guys, I've had so many readings, which is amazing, fantastic, but like I'm actually thinking about updating my prices because I have 6 readings so far this week, and more people can still technically book me. Anyways, what was my point? A different cat that I read yesterday felt like total brand new soul, total naive, just walking around like very, very dumb, very like not aware of how this world worked at all. Not sure if you had a video on this, but angel numbers and what do they mean? I've definitely talked about it before. I don't think I have a video dedicated to it. In a generic sense, I would think of it like the aura colors, how it's subjective. Like my idea of the color pink is subjective to me. It might mean something different from me to you. So like when we talk about dreams, for example, like if I'm dreaming about a shark like cuddling me, just coming up with something random, that could be terrifying to me, but it could be amazing to somebody else, you know. That could be like their dream is because they love sharks or something. So like everyone has different associations with symbols and with ideas and pictures, and everyone has different feelings on it. And this is what I call like I've kind of like termed it like the language that your guides speak to you, because your guide might communicate to you 222, and then my guides might communicate 222, but it might mean something totally different. And I would say in general, if you don't have an association with those numbers, go ahead and look it up. Like look up 222. If it resonates, remember it. Like stick it in your brain. 222 means this. Or it could change. I see 1111 all the time. And I talked about this somewhere. that first it meant one thing, and then I was like, okay, cool, yeah. And it disappeared, didn't start seeing 1111 again. Then I started seeing it again, and I was like, okay, is this the same message coming through? Okay, I hear you. Got the same message, cool. But then it kept showing up, kept showing up, kept showing up like obnoxiously. I was like, okay, clearly I'm not getting this because it keeps showing up. And so I asked my guides, and they're like, it can change. We're trying to communicate something else. We're just trying to get your attention. And so then 1111 changed into something else for me. So what was I saying? So yeah, you can look it up, associate a meaning with it, or be open to it changing, or use something that you already associate with it. Like when I learned the tarot, I already had an idea of what twos meant. I didn't really have an idea of what sixes meant, but then I kind of have an association now based on learning tarot of what sixes are about. So long-winded answer. I hope that makes sense. I don't have a video on it though. Kelly, I would check out, no. If it's interesting, there's this woman called the Numerologist chick. And I think she makes really good content around explaining numerology. I don't think numbers and angels are together. I think numbers are just a way that our guides connect to us, and it's not always angels. Any guide can use, any sign, if that makes sense. Do you know who the medical medium is? Anthony William. No. I feel like I don't know of all these current ones. Like, because I saw on Netflix, there's this guy, and I've been wanting to watch his show so bad. And he like draws as he's channeling. And I think that's fantastic because he's giving his intuitive mind an outlet. Like he's doodling, he's like getting in that flow state. And it might look weird on the outside, and there might not be any messages in the doodles. Maybe there are. I haven't watched it. But he's like doodling, and it's like, whoa. I could totally see how he can get intuitive information by just even letting his hand do a flowing motion, if that makes sense. I wrote him down, though. I'll have to look him up. I don't know, helping hand. That's a good question to ask. Those are the kinds of questions that I love doing shamanic journeys to. Like, guys, I want to ask this question. Can you live many lives at once, and then let it go, and then do a shamanic journey, and then just see where it goes? But I mean, in theory, I think so. I think that's how we can connect to each other telepathically. I think that's how we can connect to each other energetically. I'm getting the chills. Like, otherwise, if we were so individual, I feel like there would be more of a wall there. Like, the intuitive ability wouldn't work. My opinion, again. Can that same soul reincarnate but still be in the afterlife? Yeah, I mean, I think that's the question. I don't know. I mean, that's what animals have told me, and I've had 2 animals tell me this. I haven't really explored it beyond those readings. Maybe I should. So Source can experience this life experience. He has a podcast and an episode about aliens. Oh, interesting. Yeah, as we all do. I think there's a book out there called like something children parenting emotionally immature parents. It's like a really long title, but it's something I've always wanted to read. I heard a cat meow when I was falling asleep, and it woke me up. Like, I assume you mean kind of like intuitively. Dumber than dumber. Yes, and I'm seeing 1111 now again as well, and I haven't stopped to be like, oh, what does this mean? Yeah, I think in a very generic sense, like what Jana said, at the most, sometimes it's them trying to step in and say, hey, like, we're here if you need me. Yes, a helping hand. I go over that a lot in my animal communication course. And I've made sure to actually cover that in a much better detail in my masterclass course, as well as like how does language work with the psychic ability? because like I have done readings for people that didn't even speak English. I've done like 2 or 3 where like I remember one woman was Romanian and she couldn't speak a lick of English, and her daughter sat there and translated for me the whole entire reading. And I was talking to one of her relatives, I don't know, and he was obviously not an English speaker, but I could communicate with him just fine. And that's because we communicate through our clairs, essentially. That's a whole thing. I don't want to get into it now. Sorry, helping hand, but just know that I do cover it pretty well in detail in my masterclass. And I might, you'll probably hear me talk about it more and more. There's 11 people in here. Oh, nice. Well, not nice. Alrighty, you guys. It was so good to be back here. I miss this so much. Thank you for being patient with me. I had a vacation and I figured, why not just put it all together? My vacation, my course, get it all done in one go. So there's not a bunch of random ass breaks like at random times. So again, new video up next Saturday, not this upcoming Saturday, the following Saturday. You're going to see a little bit different schedule going on here on YouTube. I'm going to cover that again in my podcast. Essentially, all you really need to know is that I'm doing a little bit less lives. You'll see those on the events page of my website. And then instead of doing a video a week, I'm going to be doing a video every other week. I have a lot. I have a lot on my plate and I have to edit my own videos. And I have known for a long time that I just needed to give myself a little bit more time to create these videos so that they could be a little better, so I can be a little bit more proud of them. And yeah, I'm going to go into that more on the podcast and kind of why I made that decision if you're curious. However, I am still like available on Patreon. My purpose is to try to create more content for paid access. I'm not trying to be exclusive with that in any sort of way. I'm mostly just trying to support myself so I can keep doing this. Being on YouTube, I don't make any money on YouTube, unfortunately. So like I have to make sure that I'm financially stable or else I just can't keep creating stuff. And I really want to keep creating stuff. And that's kind of where I was at over the last like couple months, is that I need to prioritize the things that are making me money or else I'm not going to be able to do it at all. And so I hope you understand that. Again, it's not like any place coming from like, oh, I'm trying to like squeeze money out of people at all. It's more that I want to create a lifestyle doing this, but it needs to be sustainable for me. And let's see, again, we're going to have a virtual spirit circle. That's going to go up to Patreon members first to sign up. And then I'll announce it on my socials. If you want to come to that, you know, it'll be like a fun October thing. If you don't have Halloween plans, come spend a night with me and connect with some spirits. It'll be really fun. And I think that's it, you guys. Join me over on Patreon. Again, we have a lot more live nights, Q&As, a lot more content over there. And follow me on socials to keep up with me. And yeah. Good night. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Karen. Thank you all for showing up and staying with me. For those of you who have been here all night, I'm glad it lifted you up. Oh, yes, I'm doing a lot of parties too as well in October. But I want to do a party for you guys, even if it has to be online. So next live will be in 2 weeks. I am not 100% sure. I don't have it memorized. I actually just kind of chose dates at random. They're not as consistent anymore, so I'd have to look. Hang on, I'm going to just look right now really quick for those of you who like putting it in your phones like right away. Parties are perfect for you. They definitely come with their own downsides. I've definitely talked about that in a past podcast. Ugh, I need to clean up some of the stuff on my website. I'm pressing the button. Events. So the next live night will be October 25th, which is a members night. And technically I'm probably going to get game nights on here as well for those of you. So the psychic game night will actually be a week from today. October 25th will be members. November 1st will be the next one. I'm kind of cutting it down to one a month. I know that sucks, but my plan is, if and when I do make enough money that I can pay an editor, I do want to come back and do more. Like right now, if I had someone to help me edit my videos, I could show up a lot more, but the editing takes the majority of the time for me. So yeah, when I have an editor, the plan is to jump back to the week right now, unless I change my mind. The live nights are more of an issue with analytics. Like people aren't seeing these videos and they're not coming to them, and they're actually like hurting my channel a little bit. So I'm kind of cutting back on them for that reason, but also because I just feel like I don't do the best in these live nights. I'll be 100% honest. And I want to not do so many that I'm burning myself out. I think if I space them out a little bit more, I won't be as burnt out and I'll show up better for you all as a psychic. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want to learn more, again, I'll throw this all into Patreon. So yeah, November 1st, I know that's a long time, but again, if you get on Patreon, you'll see me a little bit more. Do you do this full time? Yes, I do now. And that is part of the reason why I have to make some cuts, and like make these, I know I'm like saying a lot of this now, but I don't mind telling you guys. It's, a lot too that my husband is going through a transition at work. So a lot of our income right now is very reliant on me. So I'm having to be very like conservative. But as soon as I can hire more help, like if I had an editor, that would cut off so much of my time. I think then I'll be able to create more content, which I do want to upload basically weekly videos. I do think it's better, but I also think it's worse what I was doing because the videos weren't as good and I was always rushing to create stuff. And I just feel like the ideas were not always good and not the content that I wanted to be creating, because I always felt like, oh my gosh, I got to make another. Oh, I got to make another. I got to make another. Now I can film the same amount and it'll last longer. And well, actually, I'm going to film less at it in one time so I can focus more on making each of the scripts better. And then I have more time to edit them, more time to put them up, more time to come up with a new idea. Anyway, thank you, Kelly. So yes, I do this full time, and unfortunately, because my husband's transitioning, a lot of this is like super reliant on me. However, it's like I'm not trying to make it all doom and gloom. Like it's fantastic. It's getting better and better. I make more and more money like every single month. It's great. It's just right now, like, because I don't have a whole lot of help on my other half's side, it just makes things a little bit more tight. Alrighty. Sorry. Yeah, we're having technical issues. Maybe it's time to wrap this up. My guys are like, stop talking about yourself. Alrighty, you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you next time. Members, I will see you next week. And I will see you around. Also, you're also going to see new videos coming up finally. So the course itself is going to take a long time. I will just say that. I filmed a third of it so far. I will film another third, hopefully in October, maybe November. And then the last third is all going to be the meditations, the exercises, and that's going to take me a long time as well. And then I'm going to have to edit it all, and then I have to make the handouts. It's a lot. I'm excited for it. It's going to be amazing when it's done, but I just have to remind myself one day at a time, one thing at a time. If I try to do it all at once, it would be just super overwhelming. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you guys. Good night. Good night. Have a fantastic rest of your night. Alrighty. Adios. End.